In this brand new series, I'm going to be visiting Orkney, a place that will take you on a journey back through time, a place of incredible landscapes and archaeology that will leave you puzzled by the rituals of our ancient ancestors who lived here. Welcome to the gateway to the Scottish Highlands. We are right now in Callander. Today I'm on a tour with Rabbies, the bus tour guide company. We are actually on a 5-day tour with Rabbies, which is going to be a 3-part series on my YouTube channel, which is focusing on a place that I have not been since I was a kid and don't really remember, but I'm very excited to go back. The Orkney Islands. But because it's so far away, it's actually going to take us a whole day or more even to get there. Tonight we're staying in Inverness overnight, and then tomorrow we're heading over to Orkney. So today's video will really be about the process of getting to Orkney from Edinburgh via the Highlands. We're actually going to tour the Highlands today first. Before we get started, I just want to say welcome to everybody. Thank you very much for joining in, and if you're new, don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe to my channel and also subscribe to Rabbies. Let's get hitting the road. This series is done in partnership with Rabbies. To book your Orkney tour, click on the link in the top line of the video description below. First stop today on our epic tour of Scotland is in one of the most famous, most iconic moors in all of Scotland. This, all the way around me, is Rannoch Moor, and it's absolutely beautiful. The thistles are coming out in purple colour. You know what, the road is extremely busy today. So many people going up to enjoy the Highlands. Very, very peaty here, as you can see below me. This is a peat bog. Look at the heather, it's coming out in purple flower. A word to describe Rannoch Moor today, you could say would be dull, right? But I prefer to use the word dramatic. It is absolutely dramatic today. And not too cold, so it's fine to be up here enjoying this scenery. It's absolutely gorgeous. What a privilege it is to be up here, no matter the weather. Rannoch Moor. Getting back on the bus now, and we're heading on to our next destination. Of course we were going to stop at Glencoe. This is now one of the most famous stopping points in all of Scotland, right? I'm not kidding you. I've seen over the years, I've been coming to this exact spot for 10-15 years now, and like you can just see the growth and the amount of people that come here. And the reason is because of this mountain range here behind me in Glencoe is the Three Sisters, those 3 mountains up there. It's one of the best spots to take a photo, I think, anywhere in the Highlands. It's absolutely beautiful. And it changes every time, so right now it's very moody and a bit of rain and mist coming over. I think it's still beautiful, and a lot of times a year you'll see the snow up there and it's gorgeous, but yeah, today it's just kind of a bit dank, but it's still, like I said earlier, dramatic. And that's what Scotland's atmosphere landscape really looks like. But just to give you an idea of how many people are actually here taking photos right now, look at this car park. There are literally probably hundreds of people here right now taking photos. Beautiful spot, and a lot of people actually walking as well. Just make out way in the distance there on the hills, there are a lot of people walking. Not a very good day for it, but a popular spot to go up those mountains, the Three Sisters. As our Rabbies guide explained, the Glencoe Valley is not only a place of surreal natural beauty, but also of tragedy and treachery. It was the location of the infamous Glencoe massacre, in which dozens of members of the MacDonald clan were slain as they slept by the Campbells, who had been given hospitality in the MacDonald's homes. The Campbells were secretly working for the king of the time, who wanted to make an example of the MacDonalds for being late to pledge their fealty. A little further up the road, we get the chance to explore a castle with ties to more important figures in Scotland's past. What's the name of this castle? Inverlochy or something? Glenlochy? I can't remember the name of this castle, but it's in Fort William anyway. This is a quick stop off on this tour. We're going to be here for just 10 minutes, so just enough time to come in and show you around. But this is a significant castle, an important castle, because it was the home of John Comyn. A lot of you guys will know who that is, but the event that led to him and Robert the Bruce coming together down in Galloway in a church. And John Comyn never ever left that church. He was murdered by Robert the Bruce. Kick-started a whole series of events which led to the Wars of Independence, so it's a significant place. Told you guys before that I much prefer these kind of ruined castles to the proper ones that you get like Edinburgh Castle. Much prefer these types of castles. Craigmillar in Edinburgh, for example, very, very cool castle. And this has got really similar vibes, so yeah, ruined castles are the best. Good morning, one and all, on day 2 of this adventure. We woke up in Inverness this morning and have made our way north. We're about to catch a ferry soon over to the Isle of Orkney, but we've made a couple of stops on the way. That beautiful castle that we just saw. And right now, we're in Sutherland, and as our guide has been explaining to us, Sutherland was the scene of the largest number of people who were cleared from anywhere in the Highlands during the Highland clearances. So we've stopped now about halfway from Inverness to John OGroats, that wee place called Helmsdale. I think we're Helmsdale, is it? We're very close to Helmsdale anyway. And here there is an actual statue, a monument to those emigrants, those Scottish people from the Highlands right here in Sutherland who were forced off the land and had to make that journey, the perilous journey over to the New World, to the Americas, which was yet to become the United States, and Canada as well. So there is a monument that's been set up here now. It's absolutely incredible to see this kind of coming together of cultures and nations in one spot. Flags up there, United States, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. Beautiful spot for it as well. It's a very dank, atmospheric day. Moody. But like I said, I prefer to call it dramatic. And this rain that's fallen is just future whiskey anyway, so. The castles we've come across on this tour all seem like very recent history compared with this stop on the Hill of Many Stains, an alignment of around 200 stones that were put in place around 4,000 years ago. So we're about half an hour away from the ferry that crosses over to Orkney, but we've taken one final stop before we actually make that crossing because there's something here that is going to get us prepared for some of the amazing sights we're going to see on Orkney, okay? Bugger off. We've stopped at a place called the Hill of Many Stains up here in Caithness, which is a Neolithic period set of rock formations. You can see some of them there behind me, and nobody really knows what they are, but we do know that around that time the people in this area are some of the first in the world to start creating monuments and buildings out of stone. So a bit underwhelming compared to some of the stuff we're going to see in Orkney, to be honest, but it's a nice little taster preparing us for the trip, probably tomorrow when we get to see some of the amazing Neolithic sites that they have in Orkney. Whetting the appetite, if you like, but it's absolutely incredible to think some of these things, some of these stones have been here for 4,000 or 5,000 years. This is so weird. We were just here, it feels like yesterday, at this exact spot at John OGroats for the NC 500 tour that we did. If you haven't seen that series, you can go and check it out. I'll put a link down below. And we're back again. This time it means that we have reached the ferry port, which is just actually a couple of miles that way. But you'll remember I was talking about these monuments, these stones. And these symbolise the wave power that exists out in the Pentland Firth, right? The tide is so strong here that it moves boulders across the seafloor. So anyway, we've reached the end of the road. John OGroats, as far north as you can go in the mainland of the UK in terms of settlements. From here we will be getting a ferry right over the water, right over the Pentland Firth to the Orkney Islands, which you cannot see today because they're covered in mist. But just trust me, it's over that way, directly north from here in John OGroats. Now on the ferry, it's a bit wet, but we're on, ready to set for Orkney. And so we've arrived on the Isle of Orkney. It is great to be here. And the first stop is the famous Italian chapel right here behind me. It's got a legendary story about the prisoners of war in the Second World War who actually were captured in Northern Africa. They were Italians. They were brought here to build the Churchill barriers, which connects all the islands of Orkney nowadays, but then was just a barrier against submarines. And they wanted a place that they could pray while they were prisoner here on the island. And this is what we have left. It is the Italian chapel. It's absolutely beautiful. We're going to go inside and take a wee look. But it's just great to be here in Orkney. I can't wait to explore more. We've got 2 whole days on Orkney. It's only just beginning. The Italian chapel is a story of hope. Despite being prisoners of war, the Italians connected with locals to scavenge all the items they needed to build this chapel. On their release, they offered the chapel as a gift to the people of Orkney for their kindness, and decades later were actually invited back to the islands as guests. We are in the town of Kirkwall right now, the capital, which is where we are staying here, and we've actually got a couple of free hours right now to explore the town and just take a wander around. The cathedral is right there. We've just got off the bus. I will be coming to check out the cathedral. We're going to go and see a museum and walk down the high street and just get our bearings of Kirkwall. It's great to be here in Orkney. It's been a long day of travelling, to be honest, but we've seen a lot of stuff. We've taken in a lot. It's just been a great trip so far. So we're on the main street now of Kirkwall. This is the main shopping street, I guess, of all of the Orkney Islands. We'll take a wee wander down. What's it called? Main Street. The main attraction in Kirkwall is the magnificent St Magnus Cathedral, constructed in the year 1137. Its founding was described by the legendary Orkney Inga saga, the ancient narrative of the early founding and political makeup of these islands. Alright guys, we are in our hotel room now, B&B room, here in Kirkwall in Orkney. It has been a really long couple of days on the road. It's been great to put this first video in the series, the Orkney series, together for you guys. It's great to be here in Orkney. What a great place. I'm so excited about tomorrow to explore, which will be the vlog that you guys will see next week, and I'm very excited for you to see that as well, because it's just going to be epic to see some of the sites that we are off to tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And until the next adventure, I hope you have a good night, morning, evening, afternoon, or whatever time of day it is wherever you are in the world. Take care.